What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to episode 15 of Betting the House. I'm Sully, and as always, we are live on the Alithio Network. Don't forget to check out the network's other shows like Chicago Hockey Radio, Let's Cool One, Good Morning Hockey, and Not From Chicago But Close Enough. Raven, sick waiting music. Love the change up. Just wanted to shout that out before I hit this gambling warning really quick. The following content may discuss topics related to gambling. Gambling can be addictive and is not suitable for all individuals. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. In the U.S., contact the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org for resources and support. Illinois residents can also contact 1-800-426-2537 for local assistance. Please gamble responsibly and be aware of the risks involved. You must be 21 years or older if gambling in Illinois. All right. Little change up. I know I usually hit it with what we're doing today before all this, but I figured I'd do that right before we talk about them. But last Thursday's bets, let's recap them. 6 in the NFL. Thursday night footballs. Cincinnati plus 6.5 spread at -120. It hits. Ravens actually win that game 35-34. Bengals scored with 38 seconds left. They went for 2 and the win, but they could not convert. Still covered their spread, though. Second game, Sunday, noon, Atlanta, New Orleans. I took the over, which was 46.5. Did not happen. New Orleans ends up winning 20-17. Atlanta missed 3 field goals, which would have put it at 46. 2 of those misses were in the first half, so I think I kind of just got screwed by that momentum loss with those 2 field goals in the first half, I think. Third bet, Pittsburgh plus 2.5 at -102 odds, hits. Steelers hold on to win 28-27. Wilson gets that dub after the Steelers bench Fields. I thought that was pretty incredible to see. Fourth game, San Francisco -5.5 spread did not hit. They won, but they only won by 3, beating Tampa Bay 23-20. Excuse me. Second to last and last both hit. Arizona plus 1.5, -120 odds. I mean, they just beat up on the Jets. 31-6. It was kind of fun to watch, being a Packers fan and a former Aaron Rodgers lover, just watching him get beat up on TV. And last, Houston plus 3.5 at -110. Covers. They lose by 3 to a game-winning field goal against the Lions, which was honestly the best thing that probably could have happened to me, for me, because OT could have meant that they lost by 4 or by more than 3.5. They could have lost by 7, especially the way the game was going. Didn't look good for them. I'm sorry, I totally forgot this last one was in here. I miscounted. I apologize. Last one was last night's game. Miami Rams. I took the over 49.5. Final score, Dolphins win 23-15. Don't have much to say about it. It was all right. Over in the NBA, Thursday night, both took 2 L's in these bets. Chicago plus 6.5. They lose 119-135 to the Timberwolves. And then the second game was Utah Milwaukee. Over 229.5. They finished at 223. The Bucks win 123-100. NHL, I had 4, only one of them hit. I guess I'll talk about that one first. Florida moneyline -120. They beat up on the Predators. Final score 6-2. New York Rangers, I took the spread. These are Thursday night's games, so just keep that in mind. They got beat up on by the Sabres, 6-1 final score, so that did not hit. Pittsburgh, Carolina. I took over 6.5, and of course, they only end up at 6 points. The Hurricanes won 5-1. And then my last one was LA Kings money line, and that did not happen. The Canucks beat them 4-2. And then college football. My one close one, the one that didn't hit of 4, was off by 0.5 point on the total over. Appalachia State Coastal Carolina. I had the over 62.5. The final score was 62 points total. Coastal Carolina won 38-24. The other three, FAU against East Carolina, over 57.5, minus 110 odds. It hits. ECU wins, 49-14. Georgia Ole Miss, under 55.5, minus 110 odds. Also hits. Ole Miss actually upsets Georgia 28-10 in Ole Miss, so I'm sure those celebrations were pretty crazy. And then my last one that hit was ASU winning -3, hitting their spread, minus 110 odds. They won by 4. Final score, ASU 35-31 against UCF. So my record since last Thursday is 8-9. Not so great, but my new overall record after the dust settles is 88-80. So we're still looking good. Well, nice and well put above 500 there. All right. Moving on to today, we're going to be talking about some college football, some college men's basketball, and then we're going to get into some NBA and some NHL to close it up. 3 games tonight in college football. We've got Ball State. All 3 of them are at 6 p.m. Ball State, Buffalo. I'm kind of liking the Buffalo spread at -4.5 at minus 110 odds. Western Michigan against Bowling Green. I like the spread. All 3 of these I have as spread games, by the way, guys. I like the spread for Bowling Green. It's -8.5 at minus 110 odds. And then the one game I did want to talk about was Central Michigan Toledo. Toledo -14.5 spread looked pretty good to me at minus 110 odds. Central Michigan's offense is pretty struggling right now. It's struggling pretty bad right now, especially after losing their quarterback. His backup's been pretty ineffective, and they really didn't pass a whole lot last week or even attempt to. On the other hand, Toledo's quarterback, he leads this very strong passing attack, throwing a lot of the time for over 300 yards and multiple touchdowns. Especially with that earlier 41-17 win over Mississippi State. I think Central Michigan gets handled pretty easily. That's why I kind of like the Toledo -14.5. And then 3 6 p.m. games tomorrow, also for college football. The one I'm not talking about is Akron NIU. I like the over for this one, 45.5 at minus 110 odds. And then the 2 talk about a little bit. Eastern Michigan versus Ohio, also at 6 p.m. I'm thinking I really liked the over 49.5 at minus 110 odds. Eastern Michigan heads to Ohio needing 1 win for bowl eligibility. The defense has struggled, though, allowing 25-plus points in 5 straight games. Ohio's already bowl eligible and tied at the top of the MAC. They have a pretty strong defense and a 4-0 home record. I think Ohio capitalizes on Eastern Michigan's defensive issues. Last game, Kent State, Miami in Ohio, under 45.5 at minus 110 odds. Kent State's winless. They head to Miami, Ohio, where the Red Hawks need 1 more win for bowl eligibility, and are kind of looking to get into that title game. Kent State, shut down 41-0 by Ohio last weekend, which was pretty tough to watch. They've scored 6 or fewer points 4 times this season. Miami's defense has allowed 21 or fewer points in 4 straight games. And I don't know this for exactly, but I think the weather said it was supposed to rain. So I think they're going to heavily rely on that run game, which could definitely favor the under. Raven, I know you hate talking about it, but anything on those that you like, dislike?
Sorry, I was updating the graphics to make sure I was showing everything and not
no worries. You're good.
But so the first, what was it, 2 weeks ago, I believe, I made a nice parlay and made a little bit of money. Well, last week I went over 2. So I'm retiring from sports betting now. So I have no money in my FanDuel account. I'm not adding more for at least the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But come January 1st, oh boy, a Chris 20 will be added, and that will be
immediately put into the sports gambling.
Immediately be my yearly fund for FanDuel. I will not be adding anything. I will only be retrieving any money that I essentially win. So no is the long-winded answer.
Fair. All right. Well, the one game I wanted to talk about in men's basketball tonight, 6th ranked Duke takes on 19th ranked Kentucky at 8 p.m.
I'm watching this game. I'm sorry for kicking in here, Sully, but this is a historical game in my family's household.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah, my grandfather went to UK, so
okay. And everyone hates Duke.
Oh, brother, everybody
Duke
hates
is like
Duke.
the Boston of Duke for college basketball.
It's not even that, dude. It's just Duke has been. They've always done something to your team. They have done something to everyone's team.
Yeah. Oh, which dude, makes and it's in Atlanta, I think.
Ooh.
The Atlanta's Champions Classic.
That would be fun. But yeah, I think this game is going to be really, really good. I don't really know too much about any of the guys. I know Cooper Flagg is on Duke, and he is a really, really good ball player. Like, nothing you can say about that. I think Duke still has the upper hand in recruits this year. Yeah. Obviously, Kentucky has struggled over the last few years. Is Calipari even this coach still? Yeah, that's what I thought. New
roster, new coach.
So, is this the first time this new coach is meeting with Duke?
I want to say yes.
So, this game has even more weight for him, especially. I think, dude, I genuinely do not know how to describe what I'm expecting from Kentucky. I don't know if they're going to totally come out of, the locker room in a completely different manner and play a different style of ball to really kind of mess with Duke.
Mm-hmm.
But Duke will make anything work. They always.
Yeah, I just don't think. Especially with the new coach and the new roster, I don't think Kentucky can stop Duke's high-powered offense.
Yeah, it's a rough one, but I think Duke is the lock here.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. I have Duke covering their spread of -6.5 at -110 odds for that game.
My one worry is that it's gonna be like a 4-point game.
Yeah. Well, I just the odds for taking the money line were like -300 or something like that, I want to say. Oof. And it was just like not really, I was trying to find something that would have made the game at least a little, added a little bit of a asterisk to your bet that made you sweat and enjoy the game just that much more, just because that's how I think
about it. Do people enjoy the asterisks to like, do you really want to watch the Kent State Miami game and be like, oh man, I got $100 on this game. Like I really need them to hit the under. Like to me, dude, like as the I don't know. Am I the casual sports bettor at this point, Sully? I feel like I am.
I would probably say so.
But like, I don't. Like I'll watch the game and obviously I want my bet to hit, but it's like it's not the end of the world. Like, but that's where you argue where like I'm not putting, thousands of dollars on these games. Yeah, because I don't have thousands of dollars to be spending on these games, man. Like trust me, if I was making $90,000 a year, would I be spending like $5,000 a year like gambling? Probably.
Yeah.
Just because I could. But it's such a murky area.
Yeah.
But I will let you continue.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was the only one I was going to talk about with men's basketball tonight. But if you've got nothing more to add, I'd move into the NBA and professional basketball. 3 6 p.m. games tonight. We've got the Heat Pistons. I thought the Heat's money line at -125 was pretty good. Hornets Magic, the Magic spread of -8.5, -115 odds looks pretty good to me. And then the 6 p.m. game I wanted to talk about was Hawks versus Celtics rematch from a couple weeks ago. This one might be a little risky. Atlanta +15 at -110 odds, just because they lost in Atlanta against the Celtics a couple weeks ago. 30 points plus, Anyways, the Hawks started 2-0, since fallen 2-7. Murray's out, Daniels leads in steals. Jalen Johnson averages 19 and 10. Their depth is really not great. They don't have a lot of depth.
I pulled up their roster, and you know a team is struggling when Cody Zeller is your backup starter. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like,
gosh.
Clint Capella, great defender, great rebounder.
Yeah.
Cody Zeller is your backup. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, you still got Bogdan Bogdanovic, who's an absolute bucket.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And
Dude,
from what I've heard,
so sick in 2K too.
From what I've heard, they have another young guy who is helping out and really stepping up right now.
Yeah,
so,
I think Dyson Daniels, unless he's not. Yeah.
But from like that, you can never be displeased. I mean,
they
lost against a Chicago team that's really, really stepping up and coming back strong from all of their injuries last year. They lost to Detroit by 1, which, say what you want about Detroit right now, they are a decent basketball team. They're better than, our Bucks. So,
yeah.
But, yeah, they're playing Celtics tonight, which plus 15.
Yeah, keep anything you want to say about the Bucks to like 2 more. Like, I'm talking about 1 more game and then they're up. Yeah.
This matchup, I mean, the Celtics.
Raptors.
Is Jason what?
Raptors. But I'm sorry, you said Celtics. I don't know why. Bucks. Jesus.
The Hawks and the Celtics is the game that we were talking about.
Yeah,
still.
I don't know. I heard you say Bucks earlier.
Is Tatum still a little ankle sprain, or is he?
I think he's day to day. I want to say, but Porzingis is still out.
I mean, that's enough to make this a closer game.
Yeah.
So I don't hate the plus 15.
Yeah. No, I think it. If you do the Celtics spread of minus 15, I think it's riskier. Even if it's the same odds, hypothetically. Anyways, Knicks 76ers at 6:30 tonight. I'm thinking of taking the over 216.5 total, minus 115 odds, especially because both these teams have had such inconsistent starts. The Knicks are still adjusting to new players, and really, really struggling with closing games out. Philadelphia 2-7 themselves. Get this boost now that Joel Embiid's back. The Knicks, terrible rim defense, probably struggles against Embiid and Philly shooters. And then 76ers defense ranks pretty low against the Knicks' strong offense. That's why I'm kind of expecting this high scoring game, over 216 and a half. Next game, 7 p.m. Raptors Bucks. Bucks minus 8.5 spread at minus 110. I don't know if Raven, if you wanted to talk a little bit about that game. I know you were talking about how it was like a must win, otherwise the season's basically over.
This game, I hate it. I hate when the media says this is a must win game for freaking anything. But man, for a fan of a team, this is a must win game. And you could have said the same thing with the Bears this weekend. For all the Chicago fans here, where our office is, like, that game was a must win game for their season to be salvageable. For us, I think this is the game that kind of sets Doc Rivers' future here in Milwaukee. But this is the issue that you run into. Who is your head coach? Who are you bringing in that's going to really make this team? And to use Giannis's words, like, they don't have an identity.
Yeah.
Are they going to be a strong defensive team again? Are they going to use Giannis's offensive abilities and really, really make him beat up throughout the year? Because they don't have as much depth.
Mm-hmm.
They have Dame, who, if Dame's not having a good game, you then have Bobby Portis, who historically for us has been a very clutch player and will have those moments. You know, Lopez is getting older every single year. He's still shooting pretty efficiently, but this team is old, and an old team with no identity is not good. So,
yeah,
take the Raptors money line.
Oh, that's hilarious. Two games up more I wanted to talk about. One at 8 p.m. It's Suns Jazz. I think Phoenix covers their spread of -3.5 at -105 odds. You know, the loss of KD definitely hurts them, especially in close games. You know, they recently lost to the Kings in OT, breaking their 7-0 record. Until Durant returns, kind of, you know, Booker and Beal are leading the offense. 2-7 Jazz got that rare win over the Spurs, but haven't won a game at home yet this season. You know, Markkanen is back, but he's only shooting, I think, 36%. Utah's low defensive rating and high turnover rate. Phoenix definitely wins comfortably, in my opinion. Phoenix -3.5, -105 odds. 2 9 p.m. games. Only one I'm talking about. Mavericks Warriors. Mavs money line at +125. Klay Thompson definitely returns. Well, for the first time to the Warriors in the NBA Cup, where the Warriors have started strong. You know, top 5 in points, 3-point percentage, assists, and defense. They've kind of had mixed results recently, but Dallas, led by Irving and Doncic, look pretty primed to challenge. With last year's underdogs doing well in the NBA Cup, I think the Mavericks seem set for a close lineup set, to be honest. And then the other 9 p.m. game is Timberwolves Trailblazers. Jesus, I am mixing up words here today. Wolves, I think, take the dub, covering their spread -7.5 at -105 odds. Tomorrow's games, there are no lines out yet, so I'll just run through them quickly. One game, 6 p.m., Pacers Magic. 4 at 6:30, you've got the Cavs 76ers, Bulls Knicks, Celtics Nets, Pelicans Thunders. 3 at 7, Pistons Bucks, Clippers Rockets, Wizards Spurs. And then 3 to finish it off at 9, Grizzlies Lakers, Timberwolves Trailblazers, Suns Kings. I know we've been talking about the NBA for a little bit here now. Anything else you wanted to say, Raven?
Nada.
Cool. Let's move on. Finish it up with the NHL. I'm obviously going to start with Tuesday, but Wednesday, again, also has no lines, just like the NBA. But I'll just run through those after I talk about the ones I want to. 2 games at 6, Senators Leafs. I kind of like the Leafs money line at -130. And the second game at 6, Jets Rangers. I kind of like the under, which was 6.5, was kind of speaking to me at -135 odds. It's in MSG. Both teams lead the NHL in goals against average. With their top goalies being Hallebuck and Shesterkin, and they're likely to clash tonight. Jets have the top power play lineup, 41.9. Means the Rangers' top penalty kill, 91.1. I don't know. I'm expecting a really tight defensive game, in my opinion. So I'm taking the under, I think. 6:30 game, Devils Panthers. I'm taking Florida money line -145. There's only 1 point separating them right now. Both teams have been strong. New Jersey's been a little inconsistent, losing 1-0 to the Sharks recently. Florida, on the other hand, they've been on a roll. Haven't lost since October 22nd. They're fully healthy and they're playing at home. I think, given their momentum, I think Panthers grab another win tonight. And last game tonight I wanted to talk about, but there are 3 more after it. Bruins Blues at 7 p.m. Boston money line -155. It's the start of a Bruins 2-game road trip with the Blues tonight and the Stars on Thursday. Boston's looked a little weird lately. They're 7-7-2. Their usual goalie duo has been shaky. Jerry Swayman, his form has been kind of lackluster. The Blues also struggling. Lost recently 8-1 to Washington in a 2-5-0 slump. 2.0 goals scored per game in their last 7. Despite Boston's inconsistency, I think they're facing a Blues team in poor form right now. So I'm back in Boston here. Last 3 games, 1-8. Islanders, Oilers. I kind of like the under. I like the under for all 3 of them. It's all set at my under 6.5 for all 3 of them. So Islanders, Oilers, under 6.5, minus 135. Flames, Canucks at 9, under 6.5 and minus 130. And then Blues, Jackets, Kraken, 9 p.m., under 6.5, minus 125. 5 games tomorrow. Red Wings, Penguins at 6:30. Leafs, Capitals, again at 6:30. Hurricanes, Utah Hockey Club, 8 p.m. Kings, Avs, 9 p.m. And to finish it off, Golden Knights, Ducks at 9 p.m. Raven, anything you want to say about the NHL?
We have a comment here from our very own Tassos Kirkos chirping you for saying Jerry Swayman.
Oh, I know. I meant, I just moved on. I meant to say Jeremy, and I got about halfway through and stopped and just kept talking.
It's okay. We all love you still, but we all know that I can't say any hockey name correctly. So, no, I think the Winnipeg game is the one game that I do have something to say on, which, start of the month, they did have 2 very high scoring games. Since then, they have been held to, less than 4, which their defense has carried and done a lot to. Utah and the Avalanche, they went scoreless, or they didn't allow a goal, and then allowed one against the Stars over the weekend. But Rangers at MSG is always a fun game. People like to play at that stadium, so I think these guys are gonna want to show out a little bit. They do play Florida again on Thursday, which I
will talk about most probably on
Thursday, but
or at least it'll come up again. But
I do think the under for this and the over for the Thursday game is the way to go.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Especially with the 2 starters, Hellebuyck and Shesterkin most likely set to start tonight. All right. I mean, hey, that's all I've got for today, guys. Tune in for more Thursday at 11 a.m. on the Alithio Network YouTube page. Again, don't forget to check out Alithio Network's other shows like Chicago Hockey Radio, Let's Cool One, Good Morning Hockey, not from Chicago, but close enough. Available everywhere you can get a pod, video, and audio. Audio for Betting the House and this episode will be available shortly after the live ends. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube and smash 5-star follows on Spotify and Apple Pods. Have a good week. Good night, guys.